Like, they're suing me for something I didn't do. It's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of fucking money.
So here's the situation unfolding right now. Jake Paul is facing a massive lawsuit from Netflix, and after watching that Anthony Joshua beatdown, I knew this was coming.
I heard that Gervonta Davis was being very difficult to work with, and Netflix was just waiting for a reason.
This wasn't pitched as some influencer spectacle or exhibition match. Netflix marketed this as legitimate heavyweight boxing on a global stage. Real judges, real doctors, real arena, everything official. Joshua versus Paul with actual stakes.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA. And I think the recovery time from the...
Jake strutted in with all that manufactured confidence, acting untouchable and revolutionary. That whole persona he built up, but standing across from him wasn't some retired MMA guy or washed-up celebrity. This was Anthony Joshua, former unified heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, someone who'd been trading shots with elite heavyweights for over 10 years. Joshua had real battle-tested experience, not just social media highlights and cherry-picked opponents.
Anthony Joshua didn't throw a single straight right hand for 6 rounds.
The skill difference was painfully obvious from the start. Joshua brought Olympic credentials, world championship experience, and lessons learned from actual elite competition. Jake brought YouTube fame and carefully selected matchmaking. The physical advantages were even more brutal. Joshua had the reach, the mass, the power, the ring IQ, the composure. Jake had volume and desperation.
And not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow. I was like, wow, that was nice. I was on the ground, I was like, that was a good shot.
Did he surprise you with his power?
To be honest, no, but I mean, he surprised my jaw.
This marked Jake's first real test against a prime world-class boxer with nothing to lose and everything to prove. No protective storyline, no safety net, just pure risk. The second that opening bell sounded, I could tell this wasn't about victory anymore. This became about lasting long enough to avoid complete humiliation, because the knockout wasn't just a loss, it was the live destruction of the entire Jake Paul brand. The fantasy that hype could substitute for skill finally shattered on global television. Right from the opening exchange, Jake's actual strategy became clear. Circle, clinch, survive, reset, repeat. No aggression, no control, no imposing his will. Just movement designed to buy time. Joshua recognized this immediately. Here's what people don't understand. Joshua deliberately controlled the tempo, studied the distance, gathered information. He let exhaustion weaken Jake before power finished him. Jake moved like someone drowning. Every tie-up was relief. Every break was borrowed seconds. Joshua stayed patient because real experience teaches you that when someone's burning energy just to survive, you let them.
Looks like Jake Paul is trying to bait him into something, but he's the one that's hit the canvas twice in this round. Incredible.
Then round 5 arrived and everything crumbled. 2 separate knockdowns in the same round. Not from wild chaos, but from accumulated damage, lost balance, broken defense, heavy legs, labored breathing. That round destroyed every illusion Jake had built. This wasn't bad luck or controversy. This was complete domination. Round 6 made it inevitable. One perfectly timed power shot, no drama, no excuses, just simple physics. The referee intervened because continuation would have been pointless. Jake's body had already surrendered before the count ended.
I love this shit. I'm gonna come back and get a world championship belt at some point.
Are you surprised you went 6 rounds with the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion?
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I just got tired, to be honest. Like, it was just so much.
The aftermath revealed everything. People seemed surprised he survived 6 rounds, but equally shocked by how defenseless he looked under real pressure. This wasn't courage on display. This was a methodical breakdown captured from every camera angle with nowhere to run. The tough guy routine vanished quickly. Hours later, Jake was being rushed to a hospital for medical evaluation. No victory speeches, no social media stunts, just harsh fluorescent lighting and medical professionals doing their work.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
The medical report was devastating. A broken jaw, then confirmation of a double fracture through imaging. Recovery timeline stretched to 4 to 6 weeks minimum, assuming no setbacks. This isn't surface damage, this is structural bone trauma, and people need to grasp what that actually involves. A fractured jaw impacts everything. Eating becomes difficult, speaking gets restricted, breathing requires caution, training stops entirely. This represents serious structural damage that could permanently change how someone approaches combat sports, if they return at all. But Jake stayed true to form and tried spinning it into content. Social media posts, deflection through humor, turning a hospital visit into brand management. Even his profile pictures leaned into making light of the situation. Zero accountability, zero introspection, just more marketing. The footage of him joking about the broken jaw while still in medical care became particularly tone deaf. This is where it became truly pathetic. He absorbed a beating, then attempted to transform medical trauma into promotional material while everyone watched. The contrast was stark, someone claiming fearlessness while documenting the real consequences of facing legitimate competition. I didn't see a warrior. I saw someone learning in real time that confidence doesn't mend fractures and cameras don't soften impact.
We'll see him back again for sure? Yeah.
The boxing community reacted swiftly, and none of their commentary was flattering. There was genuine surprise the fight lasted as long as it did, not because Jake performed well, but because Joshua never needed to shift out of cruise control. The universal consensus was straightforward. Anthony Joshua didn't overextend, didn't chase knockouts, didn't rush, didn't gamble. He observed, adapted, and closed the show when convenient. This detail was crucial because it eliminated any narrative that Jake had somehow tested a champion's limit.
Now, you asked me a question. Look, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down, and hurt him. That has been the request.
Then the financial discussion took center stage because with Jake Paul, it always returns to money. Reports started surfacing that both fighters earned between $40 and $50 million each, with some speculation about even higher numbers depending on back-end percentages and Netflix bonuses. This shift in focus changed the entire conversation. A new narrative crystallized quickly. Jake Paul can get dominated and still walk away with generational wealth. The defeat didn't humble him, it financially protected him. This protection made people furious because fans can tolerate losing, but they can't stomach someone acting victorious after getting dismantled while counting millions. The comparisons became vicious. Jake started getting compared to viral marketing specialists who excel at selling hype over substance, a spectacle merchant, a brand masquerading as a boxer, someone who understands trending and monetization but crumbles under authentic pressure. This reputation damage stuck because it felt accurate. Losing the fight would have been forgivable, but losing and pretending it represented some moral victory made him insufferable to observe. While the boxing world debated, Netflix executives stopped celebrating. Their attention shifted rapidly from punches to legal paperwork because this fight represented much more than content for them. It was their flagship entry into premium boxing, their evidence that they belonged competing with established fight broadcasters. Jake Paul was supposed to be their connector, controversial but profitable.
Thank you very much. I'm here with the winner, Anthony Joshua. Anthony, congratulations on the win. How would you describe that fight?
Well, first of all, I want to give love to the crowd, everyone that came out. I really do appreciate everyone in this venue.
Then the Tank Davis super fight got cancelled. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis was scheduled for November 14th in Miami. Tickets were already selling, marketing campaigns were running, advertisement space was booked, sponsors were committed, production teams were hired, venue preparations were underway. Netflix had invested serious capital before any actual fighting occurred. The financial scope was enormous, with internal projections reportedly reaching $120 million in total event value, including subscriptions, advertising revenue, sponsorship deals, and strategic positioning. This wasn't speculative investment. Production costs, staffing, promotion, and infrastructure were already paid. The entire operation was moving.
Because it's a civil lawsuit and it's just allegations, it's not criminal, so there must be...
Jay canceled everything unilaterally, not gradually or diplomatically. Just a decision that incinerated millions in commitments. Netflix didn't claim confusion or miscommunication in their lawsuit. They alleged deliberate breach of contract, not mutual agreement or unforeseeable circumstances, but willful violation. That terminology is significant legally. The lawsuit demands $100 million, with potential for higher damages based on lost profits calculations. This isn't punitive action for changing his mind. This is about establishing consequences. Jake's reputation as a dependable draw took serious damage, and platforms have long memories, as do advertisers. Netflix leadership was reportedly livid. Executives were publicly embarrassed. Their brand credibility with advertisers suffered harm. The company built on precision and control suddenly appeared reckless, for gambling on an influencer fighter who treated binding contracts like flexible suggestions. Jake didn't just lose a fight, he destroyed a billion-dollar company's trust in one move.
Jake Paul, he's done really well tonight. I want to give him his props. He got up time and time again. It was difficult in there for him, but he kept on trying to find a way.
His reputation now lies in ruins. Once promoted as fearless, he's now viewed as evasive. Once branded as revolutionary, he's seen as unreliable. Public opinion remains divided, with supporters claiming he took an ethical position while critics call it cowardice disguised as moral posturing. The debate itself is draining, but the real-world consequences are undeniable. Sponsors are quietly reassessing partnerships, future platforms hesitate to trust someone who can cancel global events without warning, and legal warfare consumes focus, resources, and momentum regardless of social media presence. While attorneys negotiate, training camps shut down, and while litigation drags forward, career opportunities vanish. The boxing establishment has rendered its verdict: respect gets earned between the ropes, not negotiated through press statements or Instagram posts.
I don't like it. Even Anthony Joshua had some class and, apologized to me.
Did he really?
Yeah. He worked his way through the crowd and came up to me and said, "Mom, just know it's just boxing."